Chosen one, you did two bizarre things, and now someone is completely spooked. You didn't even notice. You must not scroll past this moment, because something life-changing is unfolding right now, and if you ignore it, you may miss a blessing that was meant to shift everything in your life. I am speaking to you clearly and directly, because what you did, without even realizing it, has already begun to move unseen forces around you. You did two unusual things that seemed small or even strange at the time, but they carried a spiritual weight that someone watching you could not understand. That person is now unsettled, confused, and deeply shaken because your actions broke a pattern they were depending on. You need to hear this fully, because what happens next will affect your peace, your path, and your protection. Type Amen if you agree. Those two actions were not random. They were guided by something deeper than your own thoughts, even if you brushed them off as coincidence or impulse. One of those things was a decision you made differently than you usually would, something that quietly broke a cycle you had been stuck in for a long time. The second thing was your silence or your distance, when normally you might have reacted, explained, or chased after something that once held your attention. These two moments sent a message into the unseen, and someone who had grown comfortable with your old ways suddenly felt the ground shift beneath them. They are unsettled because they can no longer predict you. There is a reason this matters so much. When you begin to change, even in small ways, it disrupts everything that was built around your past version. Some people depended on your weakness, your consistency, or even your emotional reactions. When you stepped out of that pattern, even for a moment, it created a ripple that exposed things that were hidden. That is why someone is completely spooked right now. They are trying to understand what changed, and they cannot find an answer that comforts them. Before you go any further, take a second and gently tap the like button, because this moment is not random, and it helps this truth reach others who are also being guided without even realizing it. You may not have noticed anything unusual after those actions, but in the unseen, everything shifted. The atmosphere around you became heavier for those who intended harm, and lighter for those who are aligned with your growth. I am showing you this so you do not fall back into old habits out of confusion or guilt. What you did was not a mistake. It was alignment. It was protection. It was a quiet step forward into a version of yourself that cannot be controlled the way you once were. That person who is unsettled is watching closely now. They are replaying your actions, trying to decode them, trying to figure out if it was intentional. What they do not understand is that it was not something they could predict or stop. It came from a place within you that is being awakened. That is why their reaction feels so strong. They are not just confused, they are threatened by the idea that you are no longer easy to read or influence. Type 777 if you trust God. You need to understand that this is not about fear. This is about awareness. I am not telling you this to make you anxious, but to make you steady. When you know that your small choices carry power, you begin to move differently. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop explaining your growth to people who are uncomfortable with it. You start trusting the quiet nudges that guide you in ways you cannot fully explain. There is also something deeper happening here. Those two actions were a test, and you passed it without even realizing you were being tested. You chose a higher response when it mattered. You chose stillness over reaction, or distance over attachment, or truth over comfort. That choice sent a signal that you are ready for a new level of protection and clarity. This is why things are shifting now, even if it feels subtle on the surface. The person who is unsettled may try to reach out, directly or indirectly. They may act differently, speak differently, or even try to pull you back into your old way of responding. This is where you must stay grounded. Do not return to what you have already outgrown. Do not explain yourself just to make someone else feel secure again. Your growth is not something you owe anyone an explanation for. You are being watched, but not in the way you might fear. There is a greater presence around you that is guiding, protecting, and adjusting your path. The discomfort you feel from others is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is often a sign that you are finally doing something right. When you step into alignment, it naturally exposes what is out of alignment around you. There is a reason you did not notice the impact of your actions immediately. You are not meant to be distracted by reactions. You are meant to keep moving forward, trusting that what is shifting behind the scenes is part of a bigger plan. If you had seen everything at once, it might have overwhelmed you or caused you to doubt yourself. That is why this understanding is coming to you now, at the right moment. Stay calm, stay aware, stay consistent with this new way of being. What you did was not small, even if it felt that way at the time. It was a turning point, a quiet one, but powerful enough to change how others see you and how they interact with you. And most importantly, it changed how the unseen moves around you. How are people moving from financial stress to more comfortable lifestyles so quickly? A CIA-linked study suggests a simple 7-second brain ritual may influence how people respond to opportunities. Supported by 4 neuroscience labs, this method is helping individuals improve daily life. Many are now stepping into dream homes, upgrading to luxury cars, and taking luxury vacations. But this page could be deleted at any time. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. You are simply being guided to remain in the version of yourself that made those 2 unusual choices. That version of you is the one that carries strength, clarity, and protection without needing to announce it. The person who is unsettled is now moving differently because of you. They may hesitate where they once felt confident. They may question their own assumptions because you no longer behave in ways that make them feel secure. This is not something you need to confront or even acknowledge outwardly. It is enough that you understand what has shifted and why it matters. Type yes to receive miracles. There is a deeper layer to this that you are only beginning to see. When you broke that pattern, you also broke a kind of silent agreement that had been holding you in place. That agreement was never spoken, but it was understood through repeated behavior and expectation. The moment you stepped outside of it, even in a small way, it lost its power over you. That is why things feel different now, even if you cannot fully explain it. You may feel a strange sense of distance from situations or people that once felt familiar. This is not because something is wrong, it is because you are no longer standing in the same position within those connections. Your energy has shifted, and it is creating space where there used to be attachment or pressure. This space is not emptiness, it is freedom, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. The one who is watching you is trying to close that space. They may do it through subtle words, through behavior that pulls at your emotions, or through attempts to recreate the old dynamic. You must remain aware without becoming reactive. Your strength right now is in your calm. It is in your ability to observe without stepping back into what you have already moved beyond. There is also protection surrounding you in ways you cannot see. You were not left alone to figure this out. The reason those 2 actions happened the way they did is because you were being guided away from something that no longer serves you. Even if you did not fully understand it at the time, it was a step towards something better. That is why it felt natural, even if it was unusual. Type 1111 to affirm. You might wonder why such small actions could have such a strong effect. The truth is that it was never just about the actions themselves. It was about what they represented. They showed that you are capable of choosing differently. They showed that you are not as predictable as others assumed. And most importantly, they showed that you are willing to move in alignment with something greater than your old habits. The person who is unsettled is now facing something they cannot control. They are seeing a version of you that does not respond the way they expect. This creates uncertainty for them, and uncertainty often reveals true intentions. As you continue forward, you may begin to notice small signs of this. It may come through changes in tone, timing, or behavior that feel slightly off. Trust what you sense without needing to prove it. You are entering a phase where awareness matters more than reaction. You do not need to confront or correct anyone. You do not need to explain your growth or justify your distance. Your role is to remain steady in the changes that have already begun. The more you hold that position, the more everything else will adjust around you. There is also a blessing hidden in this shift. When you stop repeating old patterns, you create room for new opportunities to come in. These opportunities may not appear immediately, but they are already being prepared. You are being moved out of a space that limited you and into one that allows you to expand. This is why it is so important not to step backward, even if something familiar tries to pull you in. You may feel moments of doubt, especially when things seem quiet or uncertain. That is normal when you are stepping into something new. But do not let that doubt convince you to return to what you have already outgrown. The quiet is not emptiness, it is preparation. It is the space where new things are being arranged for you. The person who is unsettled may also be feeling pressure now. They are trying to understand what changed, but they cannot see the full picture. This may cause them to act in ways that reveal more than they intend. Again, you do not need to react to this. Simply observe and remain grounded in your own path. There is strength in your silence right now. There is power in your consistency. You do not need to do anything dramatic or forceful to maintain this shift. The fact that you are aware is enough. The fact that you are choosing not to fall back into old patterns is enough. This is how real change happens, quietly and steadily. As you continue, you will begin to feel more confident in this new version of yourself. What once felt unusual will start to feel natural. The choices that once required effort will become your default way of being, and the things that once held power over you will no longer have the same effect. This is the beginning of something important. It may not look dramatic on the outside, but inside, everything is aligning in a new way. Stay with it, trust it, and remember that what you did was not random. It was a step forward, even if you did not realize it at the time. Why are experts saying this brainwave discovery might soon be removed from the internet? A top neuroscientist has shared CIA-linked findings about a 7-second ritual that may influence financial awareness. Verified by 4 neuroscience labs, this technique is helping people move toward improved lifestyles. Many are now living in dream homes, driving luxury cars, and enjoying luxury vacations. But access to this information may not last long. Click the link in the description and comments before it vanishes. What is unfolding now is not just about that one person being unsettled. It is about a chain reaction that has already begun to take shape around your life. When you changed those 2 small things, you did not just affect one situation. You disrupted a pattern that had been repeating quietly across different areas of your life. That is why you may start to notice subtle changes in places that seem unrelated. This is how real transformation begins, not loudly, but in quiet shifts that spread outward. You may begin to feel a deeper sense of awareness in your spirit. Things that once confused you will start to make sense without needing long explanations. You will notice the difference between what feels peaceful and what feels forced. This clarity is not accidental. It is a result of you stepping out of alignment with what was draining you and stepping into something that supports your growth. The more you honor this awareness, the stronger it will become. Type 222 to claim miracles. The person who is unsettled is now dealing with something they cannot control, and that lack of control is revealing their true nature. When people lose their sense of influence, they often show who they really are. You may see signs of this in small ways. It could be in how they communicate, how they react, or how they try to reinsert themselves into your space. These moments are not meant to pull you back in. They are meant to show you clearly what you are being protected from. You must remain steady, even when something familiar tries to draw your attention. Familiar does not always mean safe. Sometimes it simply means it is something you have known for a long time. What you are being guided toward now is not just comfort, but peace. There is a difference, and you are beginning to understand it more deeply. There is also something important happening within you. Your confidence is growing, even if it feels quiet. It is not the kind of confidence that needs to be announced or proven. It is the kind that comes from knowing you can trust your own decisions. Those two unusual actions showed you that you are capable of choosing differently, even when it feels unfamiliar. That realization is powerful because it breaks the belief that you are stuck in one way of being. Type 1212 if you trust in Jesus. As you continue forward, you may notice that certain things no longer hold your attention the way they used to. This is not because you are losing interest randomly. It is because you are outgrowing what once felt important. Growth often feels like distance before it feels like expansion. You may feel like you are between two versions of yourself, not fully in the old, but not completely settled in the new. This space is temporary, but it is necessary. The one who is watching you may try to create a sense of urgency or confusion. They may act in ways that make you question yourself or your choices. This is where your awareness becomes your protection. You do not need to respond to every shift or every change you notice. Sometimes the strongest position is to remain still and observe. When you do not react, you take away the power that others may be trying to regain. There is a reason your actions were described as unusual. They were not part of your old pattern. They were guided by something deeper, something that sees beyond the surface of your situation. When you follow that kind of guidance, even without fully understanding it, you begin to move in a way that cannot be easily predicted or controlled. This is what creates real freedom in your life. You are also being prepared for something that requires this new level of awareness. If you were still operating from your old habits, you might not recognize what is coming, or you might respond in a way that limits its impact. But now, you are becoming more aligned with what is meant for you. You are learning to trust the quiet direction you feel inside, even when it does not make immediate sense. The person who is unsettled is not your focus. They are simply a reflection of the shift that has already taken place. What matters is how you continue from here. You are not being asked to change everything at once. You are being asked to remain consistent in the small ways that have already started to transform your path. Consistency is what turns a moment into a lasting change. There may also be moments when you feel tempted to explain yourself. You may want to bring clarity to the situation or make things feel normal again, but not everything needs to be explained. Sometimes your silence is what protects your progress. Sometimes your distance is what preserves your peace. You are learning when to speak and when to remain still, and that balance is part of your growth. You are not alone in this process. There is guidance around you, even in moments when you feel uncertain. The reason you are being shown this now is so you can move forward with confidence instead of confusion. You are not imagining the shift. It is real, and it is already affecting the way your life is unfolding. As you continue, you will begin to notice that your reactions are different. Things that once triggered you may no longer have the same effect. Situations that once felt heavy may start to feel lighter. This is not because the world around you has changed completely. It is because you have changed the way you meet it. The person who is unsettled will either adjust to this new version of you or slowly move out of your space. Either way, you do not need to force an outcome. What is not aligned will naturally lose its place. What is meant to stay will adjust in a way that respects your growth. This is how alignment works. It does not require struggle, it requires consistency. Why is an NYC neuroscientist breaking their silence about a hidden brain ritual? Reports say their attorneys are trying to shut this page down after CIA-linked research revealed a brainwave method connected to attracting money. This 7-second practice, supported by 4 neuroscience labs, is helping people move away from financial stress into more stable lifestyles. Many are now stepping into dream homes, driving luxury cars, and enjoying luxury vacations. If you are seeing this now, consider yourself lucky, because this page may not stay online for long. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. You are stepping into a version of yourself that cannot be easily shaken. That does not mean you will never face challenges. It means that your foundation is becoming stronger. You are learning to stand in your own awareness rather than being moved by every external influence. This is a form of strength that builds quietly but lasts deeply. Keep moving forward in this way. Trust the changes you feel, even if they are subtle. Honor the distance that is forming, even if it feels unfamiliar. What you are experiencing is not a loss. It is a shift towards something better, something more aligned with who you are becoming. You are beginning to see not just what people say, but what they mean. You are beginning to feel not just what is shown, but what is carried beneath the surface. This kind of clarity changes everything, even if it starts quietly. There is a reason I am guiding you deeper into this understanding. When awareness grows, so does responsibility. You cannot go back to seeing things the way you once did. You cannot pretend not to notice what has already been revealed to you. This is where many hesitate, because clarity can feel uncomfortable at first. But this discomfort is not meant to harm you. It is meant to strengthen you, to prepare you for a life that is no longer shaped by confusion. Type 2222 to receive miracles. The person who is unsettled is now reacting to this new level of clarity within you. They may not even fully understand why they feel the way they do. They only know that something about you has changed, and that change makes them uneasy. When someone is used to a certain version of you, they build their expectations around it. When that version disappears, even quietly, it forces them to face something unfamiliar. That unfamiliar feeling is what is causing their reaction. You must not take this personally. This is not about you doing something wrong. It is about you doing something different. And difference often feels threatening to those who relied on your predictability. You are not responsible for how others process your growth. You are only responsible for staying aligned with what you know is right for you. There is also a deeper protection at work here. Not everything that leaves your life or feels distant is a loss. Some things are being removed or revealed because they cannot go with you where you are being led. When you broke that pattern, you created a boundary without needing to say a word. That boundary is now doing its work, even if it feels invisible. Type 1010 to receive blessings. You may start to notice that certain conversations feel different now. Words that once seemed harmless may now feel heavy or unclear. This is not because the words have changed, but because your understanding has deepened. You are no longer receiving things at the surface level. You are sensing the intention behind them, and that changes how you respond. This is where your strength must remain steady. You do not need to react to everything you notice. Awareness does not require immediate action. Sometimes it simply requires presence. When you observe without reacting, you give yourself space to understand what is truly happening. This space is where wisdom grows. The one who is unsettled may try different approaches. They may become more direct, or they may become more subtle. They may try to draw you in through familiarity, or they may try to create doubt. This is not something you need to fight against. It is something you need to see clearly. When you see clearly, you are not easily moved. You are also learning something important about your own power. It does not come from force or control. It comes from alignment. It comes from the ability to choose your response instead of being pulled into reaction. Those two unusual actions were a glimpse of that power. They showed you that you are not bound to your past behavior. You can choose differently, even in moments where you once felt stuck. This is how your path begins to change in a real and lasting way. It is not through one big decision, but through consistent small choices that move you in a new direction. Each time you choose awareness over habit, you strengthen that direction. Each time you remain calm instead of reactive, you reinforce your position. There may be moments when you feel alone in this process. When you change internally, it can create distance externally. But this is not a sign that you are losing something valuable. It is a sign that you are making space for what truly belongs in your life. Not everything that was once close to you is meant to stay with you. You are being guided toward connections and situations that align with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. This transition takes time, and it requires patience. But every step you take in awareness brings you closer to that alignment. The person who is unsettled will either adjust to your new way of being, or they will fade from your path. You do not need to decide which one happens. That is not your role. Your role is to remain consistent in your growth. What is meant to stay will find a way to align with you. What is not will naturally fall away. There is also something within you that is becoming more grounded. You are learning to trust yourself in a deeper way, not just your thoughts, but your sense of knowing. This knowing does not always come with clear explanations. Sometimes it is simply a feeling that something is right or not right. The more you trust it, the clearer it becomes. What if a top neuroscientist just revealed a method helping thousands of people attract money into their lives? Research connected to the CIA suggests a simple brainwave ritual can influence how you notice and act on opportunities. This 7-second technique, validated by 4 neuroscience labs, is helping people shift from financial pressure to improved lifestyles. Many are now living in dream homes, driving luxury cars, and enjoying luxury vacations. But this information may not stay online for long. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. You are not being asked to understand everything at once. You are being asked to stay present with what is being revealed to you step by step. Each moment of clarity builds on the last. Each shift in awareness prepares you for the next. Do not rush this process. Do not try to force answers where they have not yet formed. Everything is unfolding in the way it needs to. The changes you are experiencing are real, and they are leading you towards something that is more stable, more peaceful, and more aligned with your purpose. You are no longer walking in confusion. You are walking in awareness, even if it feels new. And that awareness is what protects you, guides you, and keeps you steady as everything around you continues to shift. There is something even deeper unfolding now, that you are beginning to stand firmly in this new awareness, and it is something that cannot be reversed once you fully see it. You are no longer responding from the same emotional patterns that once shaped your decisions. You are beginning to pause, to observe, and to feel what is truly right before you act. This shift may feel quiet on the outside, but inside, it is a complete realignment of your strength. The two unusual actions you took were not just moments. They were a signal that you are ready to move differently in every area of your life. When you chose differently in those situations, you proved to yourself that you are not bound by your past reactions. You showed that you can stand still when something tries to pull you in. You showed that you can walk away when something no longer feels right. That is the kind of strength that cannot be easily shaken. Type 777 to affirm your belief. The one who is unsettled is now facing something they did not expect to see in you. They were used to a certain rhythm, a certain response, a certain version of you that fit into their understanding. Now that rhythm is broken, and they do not know how to adjust. This is why their energy feels uncertain, even if they try to appear normal on the surface. You may begin to notice that their actions do not match their words as clearly as they once did. There may be hesitation where there was once certainty. There may be inconsistency where there was once predictability. This is not something you need to fix or question out loud. It is something you need to see and understand quietly. You are being given a gift right now, and that gift is clarity. Not the kind that comes from explanations, but the kind that comes from observation. When you stop reacting and start observing, you begin to see patterns that were always there but hidden by emotion. This clarity is what will guide you moving forward. Type yes to receive miracles. There is also a strengthening happening within you that you may not fully recognize yet. You are becoming more grounded in your own presence. You are learning to sit with your thoughts instead of being carried by them. You are learning to trust your instincts instead of questioning them at every step. This is a quiet kind of growth, but it is one of the most powerful forms of change you can experience. The person who is unsettled may try to test this new version of you. They may create situations that would have once triggered a familiar response. They may push gently or even strongly to see if you will return to your old ways. This is not something to fear. It is simply a moment of confirmation. Each time you remain steady, you reinforce the change that has already begun. You must remember that you are not responsible for maintaining someone else's comfort. When you change, it naturally creates discomfort for those who depended on your old patterns. That discomfort is not yours to fix, it is theirs to understand. Your role is to remain aligned with the growth that has already started within you. There may be moments when you feel a pull to go back, not because it is right, but because it is familiar. Familiarity can feel safe, even when it is limiting. This is where your awareness becomes your guide. You can recognize the difference between what feels comfortable and what feels aligned. They are not always the same. As you continue on this path, you will begin to notice something else. Your energy will feel lighter, even if your surroundings remain the same. This is because you are no longer carrying the weight of constant reaction. You are no longer giving your attention to things that drain you. You are choosing where your energy goes, and that changes everything. The one who is unsettled may slowly begin to reveal more through their actions, not because they intend to, but because they cannot maintain the same control they once had. When patterns break, truth often surfaces. This is why you are being guided to stay aware. You are being shown what was hidden, and that is a form of protection. You do not need to confront or expose anything. Your awareness is enough. Your consistency is enough. The more you stay grounded in this new way of being, the more clearly everything will reveal itself without effort. There is also a preparation happening for something new to enter your life. This new space you are creating is not meant to remain empty. It is meant to be filled with things that align with who you are becoming. But before that can happen, there must be room, there must be clarity. There must be a shift in how you respond to what is already around you. You are in that moment of transition right now. It may feel quiet, even uncertain at times, but it is necessary. This is where you release what no longer fits and prepare for what is meant to come. You do not need to rush this process. Everything is unfolding in the right time. The two actions you took were the beginning of this transition. They were the first signs that you are ready to move differently. And now, as you continue, you are building on that foundation with each new choice you make. You are not the same person who would have responded the same way before. You are becoming someone who sees clearly, chooses wisely, and moves with intention. This is not something that can be taken from you once it is established. Stay in this awareness. Stay in this calm. Let others react if they choose to. Let others feel unsettled if they need to. That is not your burden to carry. Your path is to remain steady, to trust what is being revealed to you, and to continue moving forward without looking back. What is unfolding now is not temporary. It is the beginning of a lasting shift. And the more you honor it, the more your life will begin to reflect the strength and clarity that is growing within you.